Hello and welcome to the first episode of YouDini From Muggle to Magician. I'm your host Scotty P. I will be teaching stuff on this series. However, I will not be teaching marketed effects. They'll be effects, sleights and routines that I've come up with over the years and stuff that's considered common knowledge at this point, such as the snap change. And today I'm going to be teaching an effect that I came up with called Heat Map, which is made up of a series of, like I said, common knowledge, moves and sleights, all put together into one routine. I'll not be teaching you the exact presentation that I use, because I think it's important that you come up with your own presentation and pattern. I'll be teaching you the moves you need to do to create the effect. So without further ado, let's come on down and take a look. Transition! Alright, well this routine uses 8 cards. So let's go ahead and get 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they go ahead and choose any card they like. In this case they've chosen the 4 of diamonds. The 4 of diamonds then gets shuffled back into the deck. And the cards are laid out. The spectator is invited to point to 2 cards, and I choose one of the 2 cards to eliminate. Then I point to 2 cards, and they choose one to eliminate. This goes on, they point, then I point, then they point, then I point, and then they point, and we eliminate down to 1 card, their 4 of diamonds. Again, any card can be chosen, and they can point to any 2 cards they like, and I can point to any 2 cards I like. Transition! Okay, so that's the basis of the effect. They choose a card, you shuffle the deck, lay the cards out, we take turns choosing cards until there's 1 card left, which is their selection. So this effect is really made up of a number of separate moves, which I'll run through. Any 8 cards can be used, however sometimes I like to use, since we're using 8 cards, today's date. Yeah, anything that has 8 numbers, you can throw in that pattern at the end as a kicker ending if you know how to do a multi-card force. But I'm not going to teach multi-card force on this episode, however. So let me just tilt the camera down a little and show you what's happening. 8 cards are selected from the deck. The participant will choose one. In this case it's the 2 of hearts. While they are looking at the 2 of hearts, you simply thumb off 3 cards, get them to return their card on top of the 3 cards, and place the rest of the packet on top. So because you've got them to put their 4 diamonds above 3 cards and under 4 cards, when you thumb off 3 cards and place the rest on top, it puts their card second from the top. So then, when we run through one by one, and we get the card second from the bottom, we can just throw the rest on however we want. And that's the false shuffle I use to control their card second from the bottom. Now let's look at placing the cards on the table. All I do is I count in my head as I put the cards down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I take note of where number 7 goes, because I know their card is the 7th card. Because we're using an even number of cards, what I then do is get them to go first. Point to any 2 cards, and whichever 2 they point to, I choose one to remove. If they don't point to their card, it doesn't really matter. If they do point to their card, I simply choose the indifferent one. Then it's my turn. I point to 2 cards. I'm not going to point to their card because I don't want them to accidentally select it. So, any 2 cards, they choose one to remove. Their turn again. They point to 2 cards. If they point to their card, I simply take the other one. I point to 2 cards, making sure not to point to theirs. Then they point, I choose. I point, they choose. Gets confusing when you're explaining it. But the end result is they will point to the last 2 cards. All you have to do is not choose their card. Do the final reveal. So there it is, my version of a trick that I've called heat map, made up of a lot of different moves that already exist out there. That's the beauty of magic. You can take existing moves and sleights, put them together, put your own story around it, and create from scratch, and it's great. And on that note, I'm Scotty P, the mid-strength magician. I bloody love magic, and I bloody love creativity. Bye.